Before we discuss the strategies and processes of anchoring your boat, let's review the components related to your windlass. The windlass is located below a lid in the bow, and it lowers and raises your anchor by paying out and retrieving the anchor line and chain. To operate your windlass, you'll need to be sure that the breaker at the battery select box is in the on position. Once the breaker is on, make sure that the safety clip is released from the chain and that the red fall safe pawl is vertical and that it releases the finger from the windlass gear. At this point, you can lower the windlass with either the buttons at the bow near the windlass or with the switch located at your switch panel at the helm. There's a cleat located inside the anchor locker for tying off your anchor once the anchor is set. Now let's discuss anchoring your boat. The first step in anchoring is estimating your final location. You will be drifting away from the actual location that you drop your anchor, so there are a lot of things to consider. Some of those are the depth of the water, the direction and speed of the current, tide changes, is it rising or falling? Will you be there through the whole tidal cycle? If so, what is the difference between high tide and low tide? Wind speed and direction, other vessels located nearby, expected boat traffic in the area during the time that your boat will be anchored. You will not be affected by all of these things every time that you anchor, and other things may need to be considered, but the point is you must be very aware of your surroundings at all times. Once your decision is made, release the clip from the anchor chain, raise the red fall safe pawl, use either the buttons at the bow or the switch at the helm to lower the anchor. At this point, knowing the depth of the water becomes important. You will need to pay out your line equal to a length of 3 to 7 times the water's depth. This is called scope. The more line that you put out, the less effect that the changes of the environment, like wind and tide and current, will have on the security of your anchor. As the line is paying out, be sure that the boat is drifting away from the anchor. This can be done by either allowing the current to pull the boat away from the anchor or by putting the boat in reverse very slowly. This is when it is good to have someone at the helm guiding the boat and someone forward watching the anchor line to be sure that it stays forward of the boat. Once the anchor hits bottom and the needed scope is achieved, stop paying out line by releasing the switch. You should then see the line tighten and feel the boat respond to the anchor catching. This can take more than one try, so be patient. Once the anchor is set, pull some slack in the line and tie it to the cleat that is in the locker to ensure that there is no stress or load on the windlass itself. Once anchored, you should stay continually aware of your surroundings. Look for signs to ensure that the anchor is not slipping, like your relationship to something stationary or your relationship to some other boats that are around you. Be aware of other boats that are coming into your area. If tide is an issue, verify your estimation of tidal changes by monitoring the depth of the water. Keep a check on the weather. You will want more scope if rough weather is coming. Now, retrieving your anchor is almost the reverse of the process of setting your anchor. Release the line from your cleat. Begin to retrieve the line and chain by pushing the up button near the windlass or the switch at the helm. At this point, use the engines to slowly power the boat forward and keep pressure off of the windlass. You may need to bump the boat in and out of gear to keep from overrunning the line. Do not let the line get behind the boat. It could get tangled in the props. Communicate with each other to keep the boat on a course directly toward the anchor. Once the boat is directly over the anchor and the line is vertical, the anchor will break free from the bottom and the windlass can retrieve the line and chain. There is 15 feet of chain attached to your anchor. So when you begin to see chain in the locker, bring the anchor in slowly until it sets firmly against the roller. Attach the safety clip to the chain and release the fall safe pawl, and you're ready to go.